How's it going, everyone? Jiivita here with an exciting announcement from the devs. So they released a Boundless roadmap of sorts. So if you take a look at this picture, I was a little bit confused at first, but if you click on it, it kind of expands up. And so we have incoming, guilds, hunter, body paint. After that, farming. So those are some pretty big things. People have been basically screaming for the hunter. The hunter was actually announced way back in let's see here. So yeah, we have October 2016. We have some animations kind of shown of the hunters, which they look pretty darn creepy. So it's kind of like an ethereal kind of stalking type predator, and it looks like it'll be able to crawl on walls, ceiling, you name it. It also apparently kind of flies around a little bit. I think they have a description that I found somewhere. Here we go. So hunter general description. The hunter is an ethereal, dangerous creature who stalks players before attacking, then disappearing ethereal. It is a mysterious and fearsome creature that spells trouble for players, mainly on middle and high threat worlds. They can be found alone or in small groups. They do not have an idle state and spawn in an agitated state. They are always aware of all players and will hunt them down until either the players are dead or they are dead. Part flying, part stalking, these ethereal creatures crawl over and through the landscape in pursuit of their prey. They move quickly from location to location, pausing periodically to sense where to go next. They attack by pouncing through their targets, tearing at them with their claws as they go. My goodness, those sound just a little bit creepy. So coming back over to the announcement, the first couple of paragraphs kind of reiterates what they've been doing since launch and kind of the philosophy behind it. So they've been focusing on doing these updates about every 2 weeks, with the main focus being on improving stability, performance for both the servers and the clients, as well as balancing things, which is a pretty tricky thing to do, but I think they've done an amazing job on improving stability and performance basically across the board. And they also go on to explain that they didn't want to fall into kind of the standard model of, greater than 3 months for kind of bigger updates. They feel that Boundless is a living universe and they want to keep it fresh with a kind of a gradual over time trickle of content every 2 weeks or so. So they wanted to avoid that big gap of just kind of dead time of 3+ months. And even though they've been focusing on the performance side of things as well as balance, they have managed to add things like the table and chair props, an expanded range of signs, as well as mask, fist weapons, and bomb augments. So pretty nice. They've also implemented the groundwork for kind of seasonal events, and they actually had their first one back in Halloween. And they go on to explain that this first Halloween event was experimental and that they're planning on bigger events with more variety in the future. So very nice. So moving along to basically what is in the works, what is in development. So we have a nice numbered list right here. So number 1, we got body paints. Number 2, guilds, so an actual in-game guild system. Winter events, that's going to be apparently the next seasonal event. The hunter, which is the new in-game creature to fight, and then messaging, which actually kind of dovetails back into the guild system. But taking a look here, number 1, we got body paint. So they're working on a set of body paints to give everyone more options to customize the look of their character. In the past, these have been referred to as tattoos, but this makes it sound like it's kind of a permanent part of your character. In actuality, they'll be much like a mask that you can equip and unequip on the fly once you have unlocked them in some way. So they wanted to avoid that terminology of tattoo, also for potential game rating issues of tattoos are kind of viewed in a negative light. But as far as like the current tribal theme, I think body paints really kind of fits into that kind of tribal theme of like, okay, we don't necessarily have clothing, but body paints kind of serves almost the same purpose. And I actually get a little bit excited. They don't mention how any of this will be unlocked. I imagine some of it would be available much the same way the masks are currently available through the exchange and by using qubits, but I think it'd be really awesome, like body paints, like tribes usually use body paints in kind of a ceremonial type thing or a status. So if you could like somehow tie the body paints to the achievement system, like go out and kill 5,000 roadrunners and you get the roadrunner body paints, you know, that would be pretty amazing. That's pure speculation. Like I said, we have no clue how we're actually going to be able to attain these body paints. Some of them might be available from the start, or they might all have to be unlocked. It's yet to be seen, but I'm sure there's all sorts of amazing things they could do with that. Moving on, we got guilds. So this is, I mean, there are several guilds already in the game. However, they're usually facilitated through third-party means like Discords or websites. So now we actually have a guild system for the game, and it sounds pretty amazing. So the aim is to create a system for everyone and not just the hardcore players. This includes a new set of controls for managing the guild's privileges and factions. I find that faction word pretty fascinating because they really don't explain it. So I'm thinking it might be kind of like a way to designate roles within the guild. So maybe you have like your hunters, builders, miners, and those are your factions. It could also be just like a guild ranking type system. So you have like the guild leader and officers and then so on and so forth. It could kind of blend those two concepts together into one system. But yeah, so you not only have guild privileges, but then there's going to be apparently some sort of faction system within the guild. You'll be able to align or control beacons directly from your guild. So it sounds like individual guild members will be able to align their beacon to the guild that they're in for either just general guild use, or if we go a little bit further into this paragraph, this will allow players to group together to form a guild and align it with their settlement. So you can essentially have a guild settlement, and as the settlements change, your settlement and guild will continue to maintain its identity. So right now you kind of have like these little prestige wars to be the viceroy or mayor of a settlement, to be able to change the name. It sounds like now that you could actually use the guild system to kind of better control this, and it might be like a matter of if the vast majority of the residents have committed their beacons to the guild, that it then becomes a guild settlement and basically protects it from the whole prestige war type thing. So who knows, kind of a little bit of speculation there, but the collective endeavor of your guild is rewarded with a new set of buffs affecting everyone. By affecting everyone, I'm assuming it means only guild members. James replied to someone down below asking, well, somebody was asking if you could be a part of more than one guild. So you can be a part of several guilds. However, just the same way you can have several beacons, you do have to commit to one of those beacons being your home. And so essentially your home guild is the source of your guild buffs. So we have no clue what these guild buffs are going to be. That sounds pretty amazing. I can imagine you could do all sorts of really cool things, but we really don't know what any of those buffs are going to be. It's just that you can be a part of more than one guild, and that your primary guild is the source of your guild buffs. So they go on to say, expect more guild details in the future once this takes more shape. So this is still in the early process of fleshing all of this out, and I could sit here and speculate for hours, and it could still end up being something completely different. So moving along, we got the winter event. So we have a winter event coming that will run for a couple of weeks up to the new year. The Halloween event was based on gathering, and this event will be focused on combat. More details closer to the event launch. So pretty awesome. So the Halloween event, we just kind of ran around and gathered certain plants to get a certain resource to be able to craft some stuff. Sounds like it'll be much the same way, except instead of gathering surface resources or plants, we'll be targeting maybe particular monsters or just monsters in general, or even from meteorites maybe. So that would be pretty awesome. And then next up we have the hunter. So it just simply says she's coming, prowling up on you. The hunter's AI is in development and she'll be unlike any of the other creatures already in the game. Tap, 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 tap. That's just a little bit creepy. So there is this animation over here of this hunter just tapping the ground. And then finally we have messaging. So in order to support guilds, we're also working on a significant messaging expansion. Players in a guild need a channel to communicate when they're scattered across the known universe. Not only the known universe, but across platforms as well. Because, well, PS4 players, there's no native kind of Discord app, which is what many of the guilds are built on. So yeah, the system will also support, if configured, messages reaching out of the game via email, so you can respond to messages when you're outside of the game, desperate to get back in again. So that is pretty amazing, just in the sense that, like, say you have a good friend and all of a sudden they just disappear and the only way you were able to contact them was through the game. Now you might be able to, at least through the guild system, reach out and maybe say, oh, hey, your beacon's about to expire, or oh, are you okay, what happened, you know, so on and so forth. When all of this is actually going to happen, they simply say keep an eye out for announcement posts of features going to testing. These features are already in development, but as you can see, that is the end of that statement, so they don't give us any clue of when this is actually going to come out. I'm gonna guess over the course of the next several months, but who knows, it could be faster than that. But I don't want to get anybody's hopes up of, oh, this is coming out tomorrow or something, or it's already on the testing servers. None of this is on the testing servers just yet. It does sound like they will, of course, let us know when it is. But then what's coming after all of this? Well, nothing less than farming. They don't really say a whole lot about the farming system other than that there is a lot of features that are kind of jockeying for an attention, but they do feel that after guilds that they'll be looking to do farming next. And they tell us don't expect carrots and cabbage and all that kind of boring stuff. They want to explore ideas that blend farming into something that complements the Boundless universe and unlocks new sandbox options. So that could be like maybe farming exotic earth yams or a whole new set of resources. It's anybody's guess at this point. And they close all this up by saying, this is very much just the beginning of our plans for Boundless. We've got plenty of features planned for the future, and your feedback will be invaluable as we continue active development of the game. We love talking with our players on the forums and social channels, so don't be shy about championing the features you want to see in the future of Boundless. So very, very nice. Anyway, I think that wraps this up pretty well. Be sure to let me know down below what features you are most excited for, or if you're not so excited for these features, what features you would love to see in Boundless next. I know personally I've been looking forward to farming for a very long time. The devs have wanted to do it the right way, so they didn't want to rush into it, so they've been saving it for after release. However, those the guilds with the guild buffs and even the factions, that really kind of intrigues me. And well, the hunter, that was like, you know, something extra out there to fight was surely welcome. It has me a little cautiously optimistic because the thought of something actively trying to sneak up on me and basically hunt me, that sounds like it could be a little bit on the annoying side, but should add some really interesting dynamics to the mid to higher level worlds. But anyway, this was Jiivita. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if there's anything you didn't like, please let me know down below. Also, if you like my channel, want to get cool perks, check out my Patreon page. Until next time, peace.